did not hear his name. Everybody heard his name. حضرتك قلت لي right? حضرتك قلت لي ما سمعتش اسمك؟ محمد عبد الله. محمد عبد الله عبد العزيز.
العليم دي غلط، هو اسمه محمد عبد الله عبد العزيز.
اصل في محمد عبد الله صالح.
اللي هو حضرتك. يعني العليم دي غلط.
طب يعني اصلحها عشان الناس ابلغهم
عبد العظيم.
عبد العظيم. What's your name? So we have no females in this room at all.
Still have one.
Do we have فعلا نقرر؟ الدنيا اسهل في الموضوع عشان نخش Okay, I need the surveys. Can I have the surveys, please? Okay. Thank you very much. You're not done with it. You just came. You wrote a good amount of writing. That's very good. Okay, can I have it? I need to start. Happen, please. Can't give you any longer. I'm sorry. I need them. Thank you so much. That's what this table? Can I have them? Any missing ones? Can you not use the hand that? Oh, you're doing the survey. Okay. No, I need to start. I'm sorry, I need to start. That was 10 minutes, by the way. Office, a certified trainer from Florida Atlantic University, which has a partnership with Balanced Ed for Educational Services. This is a company that provides educational services for our country. Okay? Originally, I'm a dentist. I quit this 16 years ago because I had a very strong passion for education and teaching in general. I'm very happy to have you. And I hope by the end of the 3 days, you will have me for 2 days, and then one of my colleagues will join you on the 3rd day, that you might sense a difference. Hopefully you will sense a difference by the end of the 3 days. I'm very, very happy to have you around here. Where do you all come from? Mainly. Said? Giza. Giza. Ellen. Okay. Today, we will be discussing 2 main topics. That's why I gave you the pre-survey beforehand. It's a survey before to check what you know about the 3 topics that we will be teaching you from FAU. FAU stands for Florida Atlantic University. The first topic is active learning, which we will be starting off with. It's a 4-hour session, 2 hours, and then we will be having a small break, 30 minutes, where you're going to have a cup of tea. And then we'll be doing another session, and then we'll start by the end of the day differentiated instruction, and we're continuing that tomorrow. And then by the end of tomorrow, we'll be done with assessment. Do you have any prior knowledge in regards to active learning? Any prior knowledge? Yes, please.
The students
Be seated, please.
okay. No more watching. They will do more than watching.
Okay.
They will have an active performance.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Does anyone want to add to this? That's absolutely true. Thank you very much.
The student, the most important part in educational preparation.
Then you do have some prior knowledge. I'm glad to hear that. Yes.
It is an active, the student try to do something to express what they have studied.
What they have studied or understood?
Understood.
Yes, what they understood from the lesson.
Yes, studied and understood.
So is active learning something that has to do more with a student in a classroom, or does it have to do with a teacher? Is it more of a student or a teacher? It's a student. And where is our comfort zone, including myself? What happens when you first step in? What's your idea about teaching? What's everybody's idea about teaching? You have something to say, and you say it, right? That's by default. You know what by default is? What's a default? It goes without saying, okay? This is what we know about teaching. But what we are going to know, that we will be shifting from a teacher-centered classroom where you instruct your students.
صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
أساتذة، في حد هنا مسيحي وصايم؟ 1 2 3 4 5. حد تاني يا جماعة عشان الغدا؟ 5 بس؟ شكرا.
لا خالد. So we will be shifting from a teacher-centered classroom to a student-centered classroom. Now let's get on with this. The title is Active Learning, Rationale and Strategies for Engaging Students in Active Learning. Does anyone know what the meaning of the word rationale is? Because we will be repeating this word all along the 2 days, today and tomorrow. Rationale is a reason, a logical reason for something. Logical reason for something, okay? Now, to start with, since we have many similar names and I need to get to know you, I'll be handing out this white paper. I want you to form a card plate. I'll show you how to do it in a minute. I do it this way. I do it in 3s, so it can stand by the table. Okay, this is how we do a card plate. I want you to write your name on the outside, okay? And your name on the outside and your professional position. Now, what do you teach? Most of you, I think you teach math, as far as I'm concerned. Is this, okay, are you all in the same grade levels?
All of you are teacher of math.
Yes, I understand. Primary stage? Or okay, so that's what you're going to write. Your name is Mohammed, for example. Math, grade 5, grade 2, first prep, whatever. Okay? So I'll give you out the handouts.
قدامنا حساب هنا.
Yes, I'll give you a marker. I'll provide you with a marker in a minute. Okay, but you need to share it. Can you use your own pen, please? We're missing one marker.
لا في ناس
Okay, on the inside, that's on the outside. On the inside, I want you to think of one thing you hope to learn by the end of this PD program. By the end of tomorrow, I would like to know this. It should be 1 point. So I'll give you 1 minute exactly to finish this. Okay? So you have your name, your grade level, math grade 4, for example, and on the inside, write one thing you would hope to learn by the end of this PD program. Okay? For example, you can have, I would like to know more about differentiation strategies. Okay? Or how to apply this in my classroom, whatever. That's a good question, right? On the inside. Go ahead.
ايه اللي بقى
انت عايز لما بعد ما تخلص تكون عايز تعمل
Okay, can you have your card plates on the table, please, so I can see you and know you by name? Since we will be dealing with one another for a couple of days. Okay? Okay, we're done with this part. We're done with this part. Please put your card plates on the table so I can call you by name. Okay? This is for acquaintance. What does acquaintance mean? Does anyone know? I will be speaking in English. But if you have any concerns or questions, this is just for us to raise the linguistic bar. Okay? Raise the bar. يعني نحسن اللغة الإنجليزية. هو ده الهدف. I will be translating. You will see some terminology. حضرتك اسمك ايه؟ أهلا بحضرتك. حضرتك جيت متأخر قوي. بس حضرتك جيت متأخر قوي. يلا معلش. Okay, now acquainted. أنا قلت إيه? I will try to translate, especially when I say something that is heavy terminology in regards to education. But please feel free to ask me and I'll say it in Arabic. Okay? يعني احنا بس هنتكلم English just to raise the linguistic bar, مش أكتر. Okay? Now, next is setting the norms. For any classroom, what do you have to do once you step into the classroom? At the beginning of the year, of course. The beginning of the year, what do you first do? You're introducing yourself, and then what do you have to do? You just start off buzzing on the board, or what do you do?
At first we will make a warming up.
Very good idea. You need to do some kind of warm-up, right?
By using another information about the last lesson, and I can prepare.
But if it's the very beginning of the year, You're starting the year off. Today is the first hour in the year. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you will not wrap up from the first lesson because you haven't taught anything yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So what would you do, please?
Breaking the ice between you and the student.
Very good. You break the ice. Thank you very much for using this. You break the ice first. You can't just step into a classroom and you buzz off. You say, because I have some scientific background, or you just spill out some scientific terminology on the board and then you start your lesson. This would be very boring. You need some acquaintance. Acquaintance comes from breaking the ice. Breaking the ice, you introduce yourself, you let your students introduce themselves as well, and to build this kind of rapport. What's rapport? It's a French word that has some French origin, as you can see. One to report only. Did you share this with your group? Okay, so we think, we pair, and we share with the rest of the groups. This is called a think, pair, and share strategy. Okay, this group. How would you like to see your classroom? Okay. You can sit down, please. Be comfortable. Be comfortable.
I'd like my classroom.
Okay, can you, everyone? Let's listen to one another, please. Let's listen to one another, please. Thank you. Yes.
I'd like my classroom to be quiet arrangement.
What do you mean by quiet arrangement?
They listen carefully.
So you want this as a norm. What else?
They like my subject.
Okay, be attentive. No, but like your subject is not a norm. It's not a norm.
Okay, they feel happy in my duration.
Okay, you mean feel comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, maybe you need to say about exiting the classroom for some reason. Does anyone have anything in regards to leaving the classroom? Bathroom, for example.
Don't respond.
Okay, make valid use of time. What does valid mean? Yani to use time efficiently. Okay, what else? From this table, please.
Mobiles are silent.
Yes, mobiles are silent. Okay. Anything else? Anything different? Yes, please.
Respect the rules of the classroom.
Okay. Respect classroom rules. So maybe we can write respect. Oh, okay, respect one another. Okay. How about when they answer questions? And I'm coming to this right now. Yes, please.
More organization to behaviors in class with teacher and with other students.
Okay, you mean mutual respect between the teacher? But we just mentioned this, respect one another, and it goes by default. The teacher as well. We can't write this because it goes by, is respecting the teacher an option? Is it an option? It's not an option, right? It should be there. Okay? But let's talk about the classroom in regards to students. Anything else? Is that all? Please feel free. Even if you say something that's off point, that's fine. That we're here to discuss. Thank you very much. Raise your hand. They can't just go and answer without permission, otherwise it would be complete chaos. Okay, anything else, please?
They
they are able to help each other and accepting the concept of more than one can be taking the first grade, the first level.
Okay, can you say that again? I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Can you say?
Yes, they are able to help each other.
Okay.
And they are accepting for the concept of not only one student should be the first, more than one student should be the first.
Okay, so maybe we should write help and accept one another. Right? Is that what you mean? Help and accept one another where, for example, if you have a slow learner, what would you do? What does this mean if you have a slow learner? We have this, we all experience this in our classrooms. Okay, you don't make your students make fun of him, right?
Yes.
So this, maybe, is this what you really mean? Somehow. طب اتفضل حضرتك.
They share the information between each
شوية
other.
خباثة يعني ما يبقاش في. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's it for now. We're not doing this tomorrow. We do it at the beginning of the year only, which is like today. Okay, this is your first encounter with me. But when I see you tomorrow, are we going to do this again? No. Okay, we do it only once at the very beginning of the year. Our next slide is about the parking lot. Now, what is a parking lot? Have you heard of this before? What is a parking lot in English? Nothing to do with teaching. Parking lot is where we park. We park what? Yes, we park our cars, right? Okay, a parking lot is a strategy where you give your students some space to express themselves anonymously, meaning they can say what they have to say without me knowing and the rest of the students know who this person is. They take sticky notes instead of interrupting your classroom every time, because everybody experienced someone who interrupts your classroom with questions that take you totally off point and it leaves everybody else bewildered ومتلخبط. Did you experience this before? Yes. So a parking lot strategy is a strategy where you give space to students to do what? Who knows?
Feedback.
Yes, okay. Or maybe feedback. It could be a question. Okay? So, if you have a question all along the session, today, the 3 sessions of today and tomorrow, you come up and stick a sticky note with a question on it without your name, and I'll answer at the end of the session or at the beginning of tomorrow's session. Is that okay with everyone? Okay? Okay. Now, today's roadmap is like today's agenda. Now, we're talking about what? Active? Active what? Active learning. First, we will check in, and then we'll do some characteristics of active and passive learning, the role of a teacher in active learning, and cooperative learning, and then we're going to have a plan at the end of the lesson. Okay. Let's start. Myth and a fact. Does anyone know what a myth is? Myth يعني ايه? Any ideas? اوكي مين قال اسطوره؟ اشكرك. طيب يعني ايه هي مش اسطوره بس هي خرافه. Very good. يعني برضو هي لها علاقه بالاسطوره in a way بس خرافه. People believe in it but it's not true. And a fact is a fact. It's there, it's reality. Okay, so I will go through these slides and I will translate whenever, because you might find some terminology, you might feel obstructed by some terminology. I'll explain. The first one says, active learning may hinder. Hinder is slowing down. Slowing down. The building of interpersonal, intrapersonal, and life skills in general. Life skills everybody knows. How about these 2 words? Interpersonal and intrapersonal. Interpersonal is relationships with one another. So active learning, it slows down relationships with one another or relationships with himself, which is intra. Intra is within one's own self and life skills in general. Do you believe this is a myth or a fact? Is this a myth or a fact? Yeah, active learning, it slows down building relationships with others or with yourself or life skills in general. Is this true?
No.
So is it a myth or a fact?
This is a fact.
Fact معناها true. It's a myth. Thank you very much. Okay? myth يعني ايه حضرتك قلتي؟ خرافة. So خرافة, is it right or wrong? Wrong, right? Do you believe in the first one? Do you believe in the first one? No. Okay. Implementing active learning strategies would come on the expense of full coverage of the required content. Meaning, if you implement active learning, if you do active learning in your classroom, it may slow down finishing the curriculum. From your point of view, is this right or wrong? Is it a myth or a fact?
I don't understand.
I'll say it again. دي معناها
The first step, I don't understand the first step.
هي دي اللي نشاور عليها
First step.
ولا myth وفاct؟
Interpersonal and interpersonal.
هما يلخبطوا معلش. Interpersonal is building relationships with one another. Intrapersonal إن يبقى عندك self awareness، يبقى تبقى واعي عن how you deal with yourself and with others. أنت حضرتك قصدي؟ يعني inter علاقتك بالآخرين. intra في الشخص نفسه. أنت واعي بشخصيتك، بكيانك، what you like, what you don't like، أنت واعي بحاجة زي كده. شوف في ناس مش بتبقى واعية. أوكي؟ واللايف سكيلز اللي هي المهارات
مش فاهم
عامة.
تقصدي إن ده خرافة، مش فاهم.
صح ولا غلط؟ خرافة يعني غلط، صح؟ خرافة يعني غير حقيقي. خرافة يعني غير حقيقي، صح؟ It's another way of saying true or false. أكيد you're acquainted with true or false, صح؟ نفس الحاجة. طيب, implementing active learning strategies would come on the expense of full coverage. معناها إيه؟ If you do active learning, it will slow down finishing the curriculum. I know you have this ghost of we need to finish the curriculum. Who doesn't have this ghost? Who doesn't care about finishing the curriculum? Especially in our national system. Everybody does. So do you think active learning would stop you from finishing the curriculum? Is it a myth or a fact? It's a myth. Okay? Okay, active learning is time consuming. Is it time consuming?
No.
What means?
What is time? Does anyone not understand what? حضرتك اسمك ايه؟ مينا. مستر مينا. بيضيع الوقت؟
لا طبعا.
حضرتك شايف انه بيضيع الوقت؟ لا ما بيضيعش الوقت. So this is a myth as well. Implementing active learning techniques may lead to a poorly managed classroom. Okay, that's an important point. If you implement active learning as it should be, would this lead to chaos and disruption in your classroom? يعني classroom يكون هرجلة.
No.
No or yes?
No.
If you have a good grip on your class, would this lead to disruption?
No.
No. So this is a myth as well. Next, this gives you a heads up. This is a strategy that gives students a heads up about the lesson itself before getting into the bulk of the lesson. Flexible and homogeneous grouping is not active learning. Okay, does anyone know what flexible and homogeneous grouping? We'll say this in details tomorrow, today afternoon, in differentiation. So I'm not stopping by this. When you group students together, is this not active learning? It is active learning, so it's a myth, right? Active learning strategies would hinder. Hinder is another word for what? I just said it. Who can remember? بالعربي. يقلل, very good. It slows down. Applying differentiation in the classroom. Does it slow down your application of differentiation? حضرتك شايف كده? It's a myth. It's a myth or a fact?
Yes, myth.
Okay, active learning strategies would slow down applying differentiation in the classroom. How many people think they have to do with one another? Active learning and differentiation. Do they have to do with one another? Are they related? Yes or no?
With the word differentiation.
You don't know what differentiation is. We'll say it at the end of the day, but differentiation is, it comes from having different learning styles in one classroom. Individuals, yes. Different individuals. In regards to learning, مش لون الشعر ولا okay? Okay. فروق فردية. بالضبط شكرا. أنا أشكرك. Okay. Applying active learning strategies requires an ample. I wouldn't change these words because I wanted to raise the linguistic bar. Ample means a lot. كتير. An ample amount of different resources which could stand as an obstacle in public schools. يعني أنا عشان أعمل active learning I should have a lot of resources. Okay? عندي resources كتيرة وده ممكن يعوق ده في المدارس الحكومية. Is this right or wrong? Do you need a lot of resources for active learning? You do?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see today. But do you think this is a myth or a fact? Okay, I was sure that this would be the answer. Okay, I'll revisit this. I'll go back to this point by the end of this lesson. Okay? Active learning undermines teacher expertise. Meaning, if you do active learning, يقلل من كفاءتك كteacher. Of course not. This is. Does anyone think yes? Does anyone think yes?
No.
Okay. 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 Now let's do this video on active learning. I want you to carefully listen.
Tonight we conclude our special CBS News series on
Lahza.
modern-day slavery. Last night we took you to Sudan, where children captured in war are turned into slaves, and where a group calling itself Christian Solidarity International is buying back their freedom.
احنا عايزين محمد
To
يوسف.
show you the power behind it, CBS's Jacqueline Adams reports on American children learning about freedom by struggling for it against the slave trade.
On abolition. ايه هو الابوليشن؟ Abolition is منع أو إلغاء العبودية. Stopping slavery في عصر العبودية. Okay? أو في الأماكن اللي لسه فيها عبودية. And she did some activities in regards. So I'll show you this till we change the speakers.
Tonight we conclude our special CBS News series on modern-day slavery. Last night we took you to Sudan, where children captured in war are turned into slaves, and where a group calling itself Christian Solidarity International is buying back their freedom. Tonight we're going to show you the power behind that group. CBS's Jacqueline Adams reports on American children learning about freedom by struggling for it against the slave trade.
Half a world away from Africa's Sudan, and all the money airtable in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains.
This is Taliban, eh?
Highline Community School outside Denver are trying to right a wrong. The counting and calculating in Barbara Vogel's 4th grade math class add up to freedom. Look at how the decimal points are lined up.
Okay, she's teaching them freedom. And through this abolition video. Okay, unfortunately this is a video from Sudan. The Sudan, they still have this kind of thing. Okay, and she's teaching them about freedom through a project. What is this project? What were they just doing now? They were what? They were counting. Counting what? For what? For what? Why would they count money, do you think?
To get addition.
Okay, she's teaching them a concept, but why would she, in this case, be counting money or letting the kids count coins and money?
Should they are going to release these slaves?
Yes, very good. So, for charity purposes. For charity purposes. So, instead of going into the classroom saying, these group of people, they need money for so and so and so, and you should go and do some charity, how did she teach them? Through the word freedom, abolition, إلغاء العبودية. Now, how can we do this? We need to give them freedom. دول elementary students, okay, primary students. Okay, now, what were they doing now? ثانية واحدة.
Tonight we concluded our special
dollars over the last to freedom. Look at how the decimal points are lined up.
They're counting the money.
Children forced into slavery in Sudan. Cindy, where did that $5 come from? By dipping into their own pocket and appealing to strangers, local students have raised more than $70,000 over the last year. The money has freed over 1,000 slaves. Freedom bought at an average of 50 to 100.
So what did she do? Did you see what they said? They raised $70,000. They did this project in several schools in the United States. And they raised more than $70,000 to pass them on to free human beings from slavery. Okay? I stopped كل شوية عشان خاطر انتم مش سامعين فبحاول اقرب لكم الفكرة.
$7,000 for each, yeah.
نعم.
$7,000.
$70,000.
For each one.
I think it's for a group of people.
2,000.
For a group of
1,000.
people.
Very first
See.
thing that they said, so ingrained in my mind, was, what are we going to do about this? They contacted John Eifers.
الأطفال they became very emotional about this. Okay? They became very emotional about this.
Schools to set the slaves in Sudan free. Last Tuesday, the kids watched CBS News footage of Eifers' most recent transaction. At this point, they do not know that they are free. Wide-eyed, disbelieving, they saw their money transformed into stacks of Sudanese bills.
900,000. That's 1 million.
And freedom for slaves, some their own age. The letter did you write?
Okay. So what did the teacher let them see? They gathered, they collected the money, okay, and they did all this, they did some mathematical procedure all along to count how much money they can collect. And because they got very motivated and emotional by seeing these poor slaves at their own age, so they wanted to free them. And then, later on, during the year, she showed them where their money went to. Do you see what I mean? Okay? Yes. Yes. Okay? Okay. View the video on surface learning about abolition. What is abolition? Abolition? منع أو تقليل إيه؟ العبودية. Okay? And this is the link. You will have this on the website when you open it. What is the evidence that this learning is effective? I want an answer for this. Let's pause and reflect, do some video analysis. How was this effective in the teaching process? How did the teacher make this idea effective? Any ideas? Please feel free. You can just say anything and we can discuss it together. This is an open discussion. How did she make this effective? Okay, what did she show them at the very beginning?
Video.
She showed them a video, just like we saw. Okay, how did the teacher make the students go into by showing them the video because they are exactly the same age as these young children. Okay? And then they got very emotional, and then they got enthusiastic about what?
Charity.
Okay, about doing some charity work through collecting money. Did she teach them anything through money collecting? She did, of course. She did teach them counting. She gave them something in between the lines. Any ideas? When they were in charge of...
Free their mind.
Okay, to free their mind, but when they were in charge, they took what? They were?
Freedom.
No, the students themselves. They felt what when they had money in their hands?
Slaves.
No, they didn't feel slaves, but they felt they are responsible.
Yes.
Okay? And that's when the kids, if you give one of your students a big responsibility, how would this enhance his inner person? How would this affect him? Does he feel good about it? Does he feel good about it?
Yes.
If you give a student a big responsibility, that means you what? You trust them, right? And when you trust them, okay, this builds his self-esteem. So maybe you could pick someone who has a very low profile, keeps a very low profile in class. You know, this type of student who is not popular at all, or very quiet, and you hold him this responsibility, okay, they feel good about themselves. So at a young age, it's all along the learning process till they graduate from madrasa. What else? Did she teach them any mathematics? Yes. Counting? Very good.
Guide the students and correct some mistakes.
Guide and correct? Very good. Guide and correct. So how many subjects were integrated in this project? Is it only mathematical? What did she tackle in this one big project?
Morals?
مين اللي قال كده؟ أنت إنسان عظيم. أنت إنسان عظيم. برافو عليك. Morals. Very, very good. She taught them morals. Did she go back to history by any chance? Did she tackle history? أكيد. أكيد جابت سيرة الهيستوري في الموضوع. Right? Yes. Morals يعني أخلاق. أو manners يعني manners الفرق بين manners morals لها كلمة ثانية بالعربي. هي لها برضه علاقة بالbehavior. لا يحضرني الموضوع morals وأخلاق لهم علاقة morals و manners they have to do with one.
good or bad يعني good. دي عادات
سلوكيات مبادئ or concepts. Okay, it has to do with that. It's all combined. Concepts على مبادئ على manners على okay كله مع بعض. Yes. Okay. Okay. So how many subjects did she hit in this project? She talked about history. Okay. She did something in between. What did the students do together? Very good. Very good. برضو إنسان عظيم. Very good. Okay. They cooperated. Now, cooperation means interpersonal or intrapersonal? Inter is with one another, right? So it's interpersonal. She built some interpersonal relationships. They did this. So maybe a group of people who don't, a group of students, I'm sorry, they're not a fan of one another by any chance. And because of this project, they came to what? They had to deal with one another, interact with one another, and maybe they become friends after this. Okay? أيوة. أرجوك. Speakers what يا قوي. شكرا حضرتك.